let's talk about another transaction that you'll run into. And this is one of my favorite transactions in seller finance. It's called the subject to transaction. And what does that even mean? Subject to existing mortgage. Let me explain. So with subject to, you're literally taking over payments. And I should include that with some words up top. This is a really advantageous transaction inside of the seller finance world. And why I love it is because if the seller has, for example, 20 years left on the note, then you get to pretty much adopt a 20-year note on a property that you never had to pay or buy with a bank. But let's talk about the terms. Before we talk about the terms, let's talk about what this seller and his situation is. The seller just needs to get rid of the property, perhaps unwanted inheritance that it was on his father's loan, perhaps is going through probate, or the seller's just sick and tired of having a loan, maybe it's in pre-foreclosure, you're gonna catch up the payments. There's a lot of different things that could happen. Really, the seller is in dire straits and just wants to hand over the property to you to save himself from pre-foreclosure, harming the credit, bankruptcy, foreclosure, whatever it is. So in these terms, I'm going to literally offer approximately what is owed. Now, in my contracts, I do use this little squiggly, and I didn't write it really well, but that's the approximate sign. Depending on your title company and attorney, they're gonna probably want you to write it differently. Every title company and attorney does this differently, by the way. This is how I do it. I also use a letter of intent. I don't use an official contract. I let title handle all of that. Make note of that. I also offer exactly what the monthly mortgage payment is. I wrote monthly twice. Offer exact monthly payments. So if the monthly payment is $500, then I'm gonna offer that same amount. I use a third-party servicing company so that the third-party service can take the money that I pay and make sure that his bank or his creditor gets paid, so as not to worry about him, or so he doesn't have to worry that I don't make the payment. These are the basic terms for subject to. It's very clean. It's pretty darn simple. I'm taking over the mortgage. Again, I want you to know that I use an LOI, and we use the LOI. A lot of people, they do have an exact subject to contract. It's fine. However you want to do it, there's really no wrong answer. Our title company puts all this together. We have a specific title gal here in Arizona that does these religiously. So she puts it all together. But you are the one taking over payments, and you'll own the home. The seller is going to be the one who has a name on the mortgage but doesn't own the home anymore. I actually want to do a new page to re-explain subject to. Okay, to explain exactly what I mean by you not making the payment directly to the bank, I wanted to show exactly how we do it. A lot of times what we'll do is, and it's not always this way, we will make a payment to the servicing company, and the servicing company then ensures that the seller gets whatever the seller is owed, or the bank, the mortgage company. That way the seller is insured by contacting the servicing company that the money has been paid. That way the seller is not afraid that I'm going to pocket the money and put the seller at a very vulnerable position, because that's not cool. So that's why we use a third-party service company. Many attorneys in many states or many title companies make you use a servicing company. In Arizona, it's not 100% necessary, but we do it anyways. It's like $10 a month. I think we pay $10 a month. Really important, because this is gonna also help you in your negotiations. When you negotiate with the seller, seller's gonna say, well, how do I know if you're gonna make the payment on time? The servicing company, Mr. Seller, is going to ensure that you get the payment that you deserve and the bank gets the payment they deserve every month. It's gonna be automatic payments, and you can always contact the servicing company to find out if the payment has been made. Sellers typically like to hear that.